What's going on, everybody? Today we are exploring the beautiful and underrated Black Hills of South Dakota. Located in southwest South Dakota, this is a place that is usually correlated only with Mount Rushmore, but there is so much to do here past this. We had an amazing trip here and the Black Hills exceeded all of our expectations, and in this video I want to share with you some of my favorite places and everything you need to know to visit the best places that South Dakota has to offer. But really quick, it would mean the world to me if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I have a handful of other travel guides, top 10s, and vlogs on the channel, but without further ado, let's dive right in. This is my top 5 places to visit in South Dakota's Black Hills. First up is going to be the most iconic place here, and that is Mount Rushmore. But before we dive into this, it is worth mentioning accommodations for your trip, so when you're planning, you know where to stay. We stayed in Hill City, South Dakota, and we loved the town and the location, but another great option is Keystone. Both of these are centrally located to everywhere on this list, and either way, you're going to have to see both towns, especially if you take the 1880 train that we'll talk about later, and they're both really awesome to explore and spend time in. But back to Mount Rushmore. So it's actually free to visit, which is awesome and not typically the case for places like this, because normally you need to pay a day fee or have an annual parks pass. However, you do need to pay to park. So it's going to be $10 per vehicle, so this is the only fee that you're going to have here. Mount Rushmore is a bucket list travel destination where you get to see the colossal faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. I'll be honest, part of me thought this place would be overrated and kind of just so-so because I'm not that big of a history buff, but I loved it. This was really cool. After walking around and enjoying the views and nice walkways, you can head inside and learn more about the history of Mount Rushmore, and they have a handful of great exhibits showing how Mount Rushmore was actually made and the entire process of it. Next up is going to be Custer State Park, which is my favorite place in all of the Black Hills. This was such a unique park, and it could honestly be its own national park if the park system wanted it to be. Custer State Park is open year-round, and for a 1 to 7 day pass, it's going to be $20 per vehicle with options to get an annual pass, but the annual National Parks Pass does not work here. Custer is a great place for a scenic drive, hiking, rock climbing, kayaking, and seeing wildlife. On the south side of the park, you can visit buffalo corrals, and you'll likely be greeted with views of bison, pronghorn, whitetail, and mule deer, elk, coyotes, and more. We saw hundreds of bison on our drive through here. It was unbelievable. But please, please, please stay inside your car. Otherwise, you're going to end up going viral when a bison launches you 30 feet into the air because you got way too close to the wildlife. Please respect their space, keep your distance, and let the animals do their thing, and just enjoy watching them from a distance. Custer provides great hiking with views of some really unique rock formations in the Needles area of the park. There are so many beautiful granite rock formations that are really special. I also found it pretty cool that before visiting here, I had never seen photos of Custer State Park on Instagram, which you can't say about many places these days. Lastly, while you're in Custer, you're going to have to visit Sylvan Lake. We rented kayaks and I couldn't recommend that enough. It's a beautiful half-day outing or 1 to 2 hour activity kayaking amongst the beautiful granite rock formations. At number 3, we have the 1880 train, a scenic train ride that you need to take while you're here. We took the train from Hill City to Keystone, spent a few hours exploring Keystone, and then took the train back to Hill City. It's a great day trip and a perfect activity to do with the family, but you should purchase tickets at least a week in advance because they do sell out and the seating is assigned, so you want to make sure you can sit with all of your friends and family. Now you can buy one-way tickets, but unless you only need a one-way transportation or have a car or some situation, you're going to need to get a round-trip ticket, which is $39 for adults, $19 for kids ages 2 to 12, and infants under 2 are free. The ride is on a vintage steam train, and it is roughly 2 hours long through the Black Hills. So this is a full day activity. Next up is Jewel Cave National Monument. You do not need an entrance pass to access Jewel Cave. You are able to explore the visitor center to learn about the caves and hike the trails, all for free, but there are fees to explore the caves themselves because you can only see those on a guided tour. You can make a reservation ahead of time on recreation.gov, which I 100% recommend, otherwise you likely won't be able to go. We saw a few people who tried to buy day of tickets and they got turned around. There are a few different tour options. We chose the Classic Discovery Tour, which is $6 for adults and $3 for kids, but they also offer a scenic tour, a historic lantern tour, and a wild caving tour, which all range in price from $16 to $45 per person. The wild caving tour is their most extreme, and it is not for the faint of heart or anyone who is claustrophobic, because apparently you squeeze between holes in the caves that are extremely small, and I think you have to scoot yourself through. Not for me. Outside of the visitor center, they do have a concrete model of how tight the squeeze is, so you can actually see if you fit or how you feel about it before doing the tour, but I would not recommend this unless you really like tight places. So for me, the Discovery Tour was perfect. Last up is going to be Crazy Horse Memorial, and this is the world's largest mountain carving located in the heart of the Black Hills of South Dakota. This is similar to Mount Rushmore in the sense that you will see the monument built right into the rock, and there's memorials, there's museums, restaurants, and much more. It's a great place to take the family. It can be a half-day trip or a full-day outing if you'd like. Really depends on how much time you want to spend in the museums and kind of reading all of the history of the place. Admission costs depend on the time of year you go and the number of people in your vehicle, but it ranges from $7 to $35 total, and this admission also includes admission to 3 museums, the orientation film, scheduled cultural programs, and the laser light show at dark during that season. Now there is one place that isn't on this list that I must mention. If you're visiting the area and have time, you should also check out Wind Cave. It looks amazing and worth the visit, but we didn't have time to see this. It is pretty similar to Jewel Cave, so if you're a cave enthusiast, you should do both, but if not, seeing one of the two, in my opinion, is plenty. And we just really enjoyed Jewel Cave, so that's the one I'm gonna recommend. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still here, thank you. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on another video.